WrestleMania 34 is right upon us, and this is my predictions for the showcase of the Immortals. So, with that in mind, I just have to let you know before we get into the predictions that you must follow me on Twitter this weekend because we're going to be in it for the long haul. This is a 13 match card. Yes, I kid you not. 13 matches. I have no idea what time this pay-per-view is going to finish. But me and you are going to be in this together. So follow me on Twitter at Delzinski and we can interact throughout the pay-per-view. And make sure you do stock up on food and beverages to keep you refreshed because I think we're going to need it. So with that in mind, let's crack on with my predictions for WrestleMania 34. So we're starting things off with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal where there's been a lack of name confirmation. I mean, we're still not sure about the participants that are going to be involved, but just to name a few, we've got Dash and Dawson, Baron Corbin, Mojo Rawley, Ty Dillinger, Matt Hardy, Dolph Ziggler, Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Goldust, Heath Slater, Rhino, Zack Ryder and Primo Colon all involved. So, you know, out of all of them, if I had to pick one, I'm going to pick none of them. Because my prediction is going to be Bray Wyatt. Yes, I'm going with the Eater of Worlds to return at WrestleMania because I can't quite believe that Bray Wyatt is not going to be at this event, and it would make perfect sense for him to rise and awake from his deletion courtesy of Matt Hardy and then eliminate Matt, getting his revenge. I would expect that Matt Hardy will be the final elimination, which will give Bray Wyatt that prestigious trophy. So that is my prediction. Bray Wyatt to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali to determine a new cruiserweight champion after the title was vacated by Enzo Amore with his departure. And I'm going with Mustafa Ali to be crowned the new cruiserweight champion. And the reason why I'm doing that is I think that for Mustafa, his time is now. He's been a very credible performer over the past few months, in fact longer, and I feel like he has stood out in terms of his in-ring performances, but now is the time to give him the rub at WrestleMania. The one thing that I have as a criticism of Mustafa, and that's not down to him, but it is the way that he looks in terms of his ring attire. He looks a bit like a knockoff Seth Rollins, so I think there's some improvement to be done there to make him a proper big star and to stand out in the division, but giving him the championship could be a good start. So I'm going to go with Mustafa Ali to become the new cruiserweight champion. The second Battle Royal of the evening, the Women's Battle Royal, which has no name due to controversial reasons, and they changed it because Snickers put their foot down. So what are they going to win? I don't know. Maybe they just get a giant Snickers bar or something like that. But anyway, we'll move on. The participants confirmed for this matchup are Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Natalya, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, Bayley, Lana, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Mickie James and Carmella. And I'm going for Bayley to win the Women's Battle Royal. And the reason being is because I think that Bayley and Sasha Banks' feud is going to erupt in this Battle Royal. It's going to take things to the next level. And I think it will be Bayley that eliminates Sasha Banks last to win this match. I'm going with my heart here because I do think that Sasha stands a good chance too, but I want Bayley to win. So Bayley will win the Women's Battle Royal. The Raw Tag Team Championship match. Sheamus and Cesaro, the champions, The Bar versus Braun Strowman, and to be determined. Yes, we still don't know who Braun Strowman's partner will be. After this past week on Raw, he revealed himself to be his partner in an awful segment. I hated that segment, and I honestly feel like, speaking out of term here, that Braun Strowman has been hard done by to be in this match. It's almost like WWE had nothing for him, and it seems madness considering that 90% of the year it has been Braun Strowman who's been heavily pushed by WWE, and we get to WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all, and Braun Strowman is challenging for the tag team titles after he has been in feuds with Brock Lesnar. He has been repeatedly banging on the door for the Universal Championship. He's been in feuds with Roman Reigns, and he's been demoted to this. So very frustrating in terms of the positioning of Braun Strowman, but maybe some good can come out of it. In terms of his partner, who am I going to go with? Well, I would actually give him a partner, but I'd give him a partner who doesn't really serve a purpose, and maybe a partner who could actually help him out here or there. I'd go with someone like James Ellsworth, because I think it would be hilarious that he would pick someone like Ellsworth, and then maybe one of two scenarios. Ellsworth does nothing at all, or Ellsworth potentially picks up the pin victory, giving Strowman and Ellsworth the championships. Then after the match, Braun Strowman gives Ellsworth a running power slam and takes both the belts. I think something like that would go down as a treat, and it would also write James Ellsworth off of TV. So again, if he hasn't got a contract and it's a one and done thing, then James Ellsworth is gone, and then Braun Strowman can take those tag team championships forward. So Braun Strowman to become the new Raw Tag Team Champion. The SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship match, the triple threat match between the champions, the Usos, versus the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. I am going to say again that the titles are going to change hands, and I am going with the Bludgeon Brothers. I feel that they've made an impact since they've arrived on SmackDown Live, and I think that now again is an opportunity to capitalize on that impact and give them the championship belts. The Usos have held the titles for quite some time. It feels like the right time to change it up, and I don't think the New Day would serve very much of a purpose picking up the championships at this stage. I want to see a new direction, and I think that Rowan and Harper deserve this victory on the grandest stage of them all. So I am going for the Bludgeon Brothers, Harper and Rowan, to become new tag team champions. Now we're going to look at the medium championships, and we're going to start with the Intercontinental Championship of Monday Night Raw. The champion, The Miz, versus Seth Rollins and Finn Balor in a triple threat match. And I have to say that the match between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor on Raw was a classic, but it was really undervalued by the commentary team, who just constantly asked The Miz about his daughter. Yes, congratulations on the new arrival, Miz, but the timing of this really took away from the match. Not just that as well, we had constant commercial breaks during this match, advertising WrestleMania, even more so SmackDown Live matches for WrestleMania. Why would you do that? We have a brand split. It's brand competing against brand. Regardless or not if they want to keep pushing that or not, that is what we've been told, that these two brands are in competition. It doesn't feel like that when you're advertising the competition. So all of that came together and made that match a little bit more disappointing, because it was a great match, but they didn't make it feel that way with the constant interruptions and talking about something that was completely off subject. But nevertheless, I think that it is time for Finn Balor to rise once again. I mean, since his return after giving up the Universal Championship with injury, he hasn't really risen to the top. I thought he'd be back in that Universal Championship fold, but he's been demoted as such. I don't think if Seth Rollins was to lose this, it would hurt him too much, but I think if Finn was to lose this match, it would hurt him much more. Whereas with The Miz, I think he will be taking some time off to spend with his daughter, which can be appreciated. So I think that Finn Balor should win this match, and he is my prediction to become the new Intercontinental Champion. The United States Championship match, the fatal four-way between the champion Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal and Rusev. I'm not going to say much on this. I'm just going to say it's Rusev Day. If WWE wants to give us a WrestleMania moment, make it Rusev Day and let Rusev become the United States Champion. You know, WWE is always looking for a WrestleMania moment. This is one. It would make the crowd so happy. Don't let us down, WWE. It is Rusev Day at WrestleMania. The Women's Championship matches, and first and foremost, let's talk about the Raw Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss, the champion, versus Nia Jax, and I'm going to say that in terms of the build to this match, I haven't enjoyed it very much at all. It has served a purpose. It has made Nia Jax the dominant force that she should have always been, but I didn't like the route that they took to get there in terms of the bullying tactics. Nia Jax has responded to criticism about, you know, her size and things online, and she's responded to them in quite a negative manner. So she has fired back quite a few times. So for WWE to pick up that kind of story and run with it in terms of questioning Nia's weight, making fun of it, I found that a little bit questionable, to say the least. So I didn't really like the way that they got there with the whole bully tactic. I think Nia is better than that in terms of how she could have been built anyway. I think she could have just been pure dominance, because she is exactly what her theme song says. She's not like most girls. She's very different, and it should have always been played upon in that way. But they've got there in the end with this storyline, and I think that Nia Jax will become the new women's champion for Monday Night Raw. I think that it will end with Nia Jax raising that championship. And I know I've had a lot of titles change hands in my predictions, but they feel right. So I hope I'm not going to get burned and be severely disappointed come the pay-per-view. I hope these titles do change hands, because it feels the right type of booking. So Nia Jax defeats Alexa and becomes the women's champion. The SmackDown Live Women's Championship match. Charlotte Flair, the champion, versus the undefeated Asuka. Now, if Asuka wins, will she be staying on SmackDown Live? Is that something that WWE would want? Would they want their prized women's asset to be on SmackDown Live, which is, you know, regardless or not, whether we want to admit it, it is the B show. Would they want Asuka to be there? Just let that play on your mind a little bit, because if they don't, somehow, some way, without losing, Asuka's not going to pick up that women's championship. But I am going to go with Asuka winning. I don't believe that Asuka will drop her undefeated streak on the night, but I do think that Carmella will cash in. So somehow, some way, Carmella is going to be the women's champion by the end of WrestleMania 34. So I am saying that I believe that Asuka will remain undefeated, and I believe that Carmella will be the women's champion. A controversial prediction by me. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Now we move on to the authoritative matches, and I say that because we have two matches where, you know, the commissioner and the general manager are involved, or even higher up than that. And it kind of seems weird, considering that we're supposed to have two brands who want to do things differently to stand out and be the better brand, yet we end up with almost the exact same match, bar the participants, because obviously one match is a mixed tag team match, the other isn't. Apart from that, these matches are the same. Go figure. But we'll start with the mixed tag team match with Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And I think this has to be an obvious prediction. I'll go with Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle defeating Triple H and Stephanie. I thought the segment on Raw was fantastic. The whole kind of face-off between the two teams, I thought that worked really well with Jonathan Coachman. Loved it. And I liked the way that Stephanie got the upper hand right at the end, taking Rousey off guard and putting her through the table. It felt like that was the only way that Stephanie could steal the upper hand off of Ronda. So I like that. It adds more fuel to the fire. It builds this match nicely. Some people saying that it was unrealistic that Stephanie could do that. I don't think so, because it was like she blindsided Ronda. She was too preoccupied dealing with Triple H. Love that we're saying that, but she was. So I'm going to go with Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey, and I think that Ronda will make Stephanie tap out. And the SmackDown Live authoritative match of Daniel Bryan returning to the ring with Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Now the big moment in this is the fact that Daniel Bryan returns to the ring. It's a celebration at WrestleMania. I can't wait to see Bryan's in-ring return, but I feel that this match will end in disappointment in terms of the outcome, because the stipulation is that if Owens and Zayn win, they will be rehired to SmackDown. Now, I don't see them being free agents for much longer. I don't see them being fired for much longer. So with that being the case, I think that they will be rehired. That means that Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon are going to lose at WrestleMania, which means that Daniel Bryan loses his return match. I think that will happen, and I think it will be Shane McMahon that gets pinned. In terms of this story overall, I'm kind of at the point where I'm done with it. I haven't really enjoyed any of this story. I think they could have had a better match from a SmackDown Live perspective. Maybe even Daniel Bryan versus Shane McMahon in a singles match would have been something that I would have liked to have seen personally, considering that he was coming back to the ring and they'd spent quite a lot of time building that these two don't see eye to eye. The only other thing that I could see is one of the faces turning on the other. So Shane McMahon or Daniel Bryan turn on each other, which enables Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to pick up the win. But I am going for Owens and Zayn. The Yep movement will be rehired to SmackDown Live. And finally, we're into the championship matches, the big ones. And we're going to start with probably the main event. I think that's been established now. The Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. And I kind of find this one hard to predict because I think it's so obvious it's untrue. There's even rumours today that Brock Lesnar has already signed with the UFC, so he's not going to be in WWE much longer. So it's an obvious scenario. Roman Reigns will become the Universal Champion. I'm not sure what else you can say. The actual build to this match has been better than their encounters in the past. I didn't really like the whole locker room leader aspect of Roman Reigns. You know, the way on Raw this week that the locker room parted ways so he could go and attack Brock, because they're trying to make out that Roman Reigns is a locker room leader. He's the guy. He's the guy that everyone loves backstage. And Brock Lesnar, no, he's never here. He's a bad dude. I don't like all of that. I think it's kind of forced and unnecessary. And it's trying to make us, you know, as fans look like idiots as such, because we know this already. We know that you like Roman. We get it. You don't have to keep on forcing it down our throats. We know what's coming. So just get on with it. So we know what's coming. I don't mind Reigns becoming champion. I just feel that it's disappointing how we know it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, holy shit. But it will. And last, but by no means not least, the WWE Championship match between AJ Styles, the champion, and Shinsuke Nakamura, the challenger. Now, this match could have been so much more if they built it properly. It really deserved a 5-star build, because we're probably going to get a 5-star match. This one could steal the show. It's highly anticipated by many, but the way that WWE have got to it is a disappointment. you know, the whole ending segment on SmackDown Live this week was AJ Styles tapping Shinsuke Nakamura on the head, giving him a pat on the head like he is a dog. That's the build. The build from the week before that was Shinsuke Nakamura tapping AJ Styles on the head. Good boy, AJ. Good boy. Again, that was the build. Really? Yes, it was. So they could have done so much better to get there. I feel that they've really messed up Shinsuke Nakamura over the period of time. They had him pick up losses to Jinder Mahal, you know, for sacrificing that they wanted to put Jinder over. Where did that get us? You know, look where Jinder is now. You know, it's kind of laughable in a way, but they did so many things to derail, you know, the credibility of how big this match could be. But we have got there at least, and we have got this match. So that is the main thing. At least we've got it, because at points, even this was in doubt. But I'm going to predict that AJ Styles will retain. I think he will. And again, that could be controversial, because you'd think that AJ Styles would drop the title. It's a big moment for Nakamura, for him to capture that championship. He's failed in the past. Could he get it on the grandest stage of them all? But I'm going to say that Styles wins, because we know that the Universal Championship will change hands. Would WWE want to change both major championships? I'm not sure, but we'll go with it. AJ Styles to retain the WWE Championship. And that just about wraps it up.
Undertaker!
Oh, wait. Sorry, John, I forgot you were there in the front row. Sorry, I forgot you were watching WrestleMania and you wanted someone to do something. Sorry, John, completely forgot about you. Yes, I didn't forget this. It is a 13 match card, but we could get 14 because The Undertaker could still return. I expect The Undertaker to return, and the reason why they've been so secretive about this in terms of not having him appear during the build, I think that is spot on. I think well done WWE, because so many times WWE have given away big surprise returns by having the superstar rock up the week before WrestleMania, rock up the week before the pay-per-view, and it just takes the edge off it. However, they haven't done it this time. You know, they've kept their cards close to their chest. They haven't given away too much. Cena's come out week in, week out with terrible promos saying, do something, please, Undertaker, face me. I need to face someone at WrestleMania. Just give me a match. And he still ignored him. Fantastic that The Undertaker has ignored him. In fact, if I had my way, The Undertaker would take a match with someone else. But he isn't. He'll take that match with John Cena, but instead we will see the American Badass. That's a prediction in itself. ABA, the American Badass, coming down that huge ramp at WrestleMania on the motorcycle with Kid Rock, the Hall of Famer, playing him in. I think that is what's going to happen. And then John Cena, he begged for it. He's got it. He's going to get a last ride at WrestleMania. That is my final prediction for WrestleMania 34. The Undertaker defeats John Cena at WrestleMania. Let me know your predictions in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's roll on the weekend. Join me, follow me on Twitter at Delzinski for WrestleMania weekend. All that's left to be said is please rate, comment, and subscribe. And ding that notification bell. This is Delzinski, signing out.